Hello, my dear viewers. A very good evening to all of you. Um, we are once again back with Coffee and Conversation, powered by OK Store by GM. Uh, this rainy evening, we've got yet another eminent personality on board today. Does anybody want to guess? Of course, let me speak a little about her before you can really guess. Someone who's just not been doing projects in our country, but even in a lot of international countries. And I take immense pride in speaking about this woman. I mean, feels really pleased and feels humbled as well to have her presence for today's coffee and conversation session. I think I will like to speak with about her once she joins. She should be joining any moment. Give me a couple of seconds. In the meanwhile, can you guys hear me? If yes, give me a thumbs up. If no, give me a thumbs down. Yes, no, yes, no. Okay, I've received one thumbs up. Thank you so much. Two thumbs ups. I love that. All right, here is the lady for the evening. A very warm welcome to Let Her Come Live. I will not take her name till the time she's here. Okay, here she is, the beautiful lady on the screen, guys. You. That's
Thank
none
you.
other than Kiran Ganti. Thank you so much for accepting our invite to be a part of Coffee and Conversation, powered by Okio Store by GM.
Thank you for having
So
me.
it's pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much. A quick introduction about you that I would like to give to our viewers. So, guys, as I was saying, someone who's kind of been par excellence, not just within our country, but even a lot of international countries. I think with over 20 years of design in, experience in lighting design and a variety of national and international projects in her portfolio, she's earned a reputation of an outstanding lighting designer, and there she goes.
Thank
Absolutely as
you.
sweet and humble as always, Kiran ji. Apologies, I'm going to call you Kiran ji. Just not able to.
You
Can't make
told
it
me
Kiran.
you'll drop the G and you still added it to my name.
Um, okay, so I will try my best. It's just out of that respect.
No
So
worries, whatever is comfortable.
absolutely, thank you so much. So welcome once again. A quick introduction. Obviously, I've spoken about you. Of course, I think our viewers are very much aware of the kind of projects. I think she hasn't left a single hotel within our country or even outside our country to kind of enlighten. I mean the people of our country as well as the other countries, starting from I think a Hyatt to a St. Regis to a Sheraton. I think she's covered a beautiful range of hotels in her portfolio. So taking it from here, Kiranji, up. Okay, Kiran, sorry. You see, it just
Thank you.
comes with the flow. All right. So a quick introduction about yourself, Kiran, while I've already given a download about who you are, what you do, would like to hear from you.
Sure. Thanks for the warm welcome and your generous
Pleasure.
compliments. Thanks
Thank
to
you.
your team as well for doing the back end stuff because without them, without our teams are nothing. So thanks
Absolutely.
and greetings to our viewers who care to join. So I'll just give you a quick look into my professional story. I'm an architect by qualification and a lighting designer by profession, and lighting just fell into my lap. If I'm thinking this is what you want to know, Maman, right? Am I going the right
Absolutely.
direction?
You
Okay,
are,
yeah.
definitely.
So I would say that it's just a fortunate stroke of serendipity. I just happened to be in United States a while back actually, and that's where I got offered a job in a lighting design firm. And I really didn't even know at that time that a profession like lighting design existed. And I was very skeptical because I had this bachelor's in architecture, and right now it seemed like I was veering away from architecture and getting into lighting, so I was not even happy with that thought. But then I'm glad I did, and that's where my journey started actually, and it's still ongoing with amazing number of projects, learning by the day, by the minute, and thankful for that.
Brilliant. So I think it's been can I term it as a paradigm shift from architecture to lighting design?
Yes, yes. But of course, my background in architecture helps me a lot because then I don't dilute the architectural elements of it and make a loud statement with lighting. It is a
Sure.
good balance.
Sure. So, would you like to share with us as to, I'm sure, like you mentioned that you basically kind of did your master's in architecture, and then probably moved on to lighting design. What was this transition? Something about the journey, between being an architect to being a lighting designer, and then of course being termed as an outstanding lighting designer. A little about the journey. What was your experience, or maybe a few experiences for our viewers to know?
Yes, I wouldn't take credit for masters. I have a bachelor's in architecture, and I'd like
Oh,
to
okay,
make
all
that
right.
clear. And yes, the move towards lighting was gradual, so it just happened over time. Started noticing lighting in everything, how it shapes the perception, the visual perception of a space for us and all the other objects around us. And not only does it do that, but it also influences our emotions. I mean, I was
Mhm.
driving to work today. It's so overcast and couldn't help feel somber, But otherwise, when it's daylight, bright light, you're so energetic and ready to come to work. So there's so much of influence of lighting on us human beings, and little by little, you kind of start valuing that, seeing and observing light, and you fall in love with it. And so it's been an amazing journey. Yes.
Sure. So, I think, speaking about lighting design, I think it's a very, very interesting concept. Sorry about these lights here. I'm just trying to kind of control them. Okay. Of course, I've had a few interactions in the past with a few friends and colleagues of yours from the industry, as you are aware. I think
Yeah,
lighting
I
design,
got the
yeah,
Amar one, the rocking guitar, and
yes, he's the rock star. That's
all
that's the
that
term
fun
that I've
stuff.
given
Yeah.
him. Yeah. So apart from just being one of the, I think he was covered in a magazine called like what was it, 40 under 40 hottest lighting designer, something, some achievement that the man has
If
got.
he's watching, hi Amar.
I'm not sure if he's here, but yeah, in case you are, hi Amar. Looking forward to the coaching classes, yoga, and you
Guitar
mentioned
and
about something else
dance.
also.
Yeah.
He's absolutely an outstanding. He's a rock star. That's what I call him. Anyway, so speaking about lighting design, Kiran, what is in it? I mean, in your perspective, how would you really look at, so there's something called interior design and there's something called lighting design. Um, is there a common ground? Of course, design has a common definition, as we all understand. But sorry, Kiran, can you hear me?
Now, yes.
Extremely sorry, it's some technical glitch. I think it's because of the rain. I think the Wi-Fi today is a little. Oh, I like that cup. K for Kiran. I don't have an A for Aman here, so, but next time
I
for
get
sure.
you one.
Thank you so much. So sweet of you. All right. So sorry, I had a question on my list, or rather my mind. So of course, while design does find a common ground, as a term, how different is lighting design from I mean, as a lighting designer, the specification that you would have to give for a particular project. Let's say of course, you're an architect as well. In fact, matter of fact, you've studied architecture. How different is that lighting from architectural lighting? Is there something different? Something that you wish to share with us? Because I'm not aware of it as a layman. For me, lighting design, I know there's a lighting designer and then there's an architect. But what is it? Is there a common ground or something that you wish to share with us?
So Aman, this is how I understand your question, so I'll answer it that way. I don't know.
No
You can
problem.
tell me later if I met with the if
Please
I answered your question.
go
So
ahead.
design to me is very holistic. Coming from an architecture background, of course, I didn't practice architecture at all. I just dived into lighting. So design to me is very holistic, and it has to blend in. It has to be integrated. I can't really go in there trying to make a lighting statement about everything. I mean, there are so many elements to architecture, vaulted ceilings, arches, and so on. So we can only do justice when everything is integrated and it's a holistic kind of approach. And yes, it's a little different because it's that intangible layer
Hmm.
that you can't really create, but you have to just um, somehow make it happen
Make it
with
happen, right?
layering lights, with choosing the right sources that have the right characteristics. The color temperatures, the CRIs. Just let me know if I'm getting very technical, but these are the
No,
things
you're
we
not. I
look
think I think
at.
this is so. This is important for that matter. I think when you speak about the color tune and Sierra, I think that's.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what eventually is lighting all about. So please go ahead.
Right. So like how warm lighting relaxes us, and then the neutral lights puts us in a work mode. So that has to be positioned according to the tasks, and so there's a lot of study and details that go into it, and it is different, is what I would say from um, the other disciplines. And yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think you beautifully answered it because commonly, of course, not just because I represent a brand here and I get these questions, but the fact that there's always been a question mark that I've had personally to understand why would an architect not be able to specify lighting? I mean, that's a question that I have, right? I mean, it can have a lot
Because
of different answers.
Yeah, because architects have a zoomed out vision of lighting. When we lighting designers come in, see, because they have their own things to worry about. They have so many other materials and all those things, facades, glasses, and stuff they have to worry about. We have to worry about the color temperatures, CRIs, the beam angles. You have to get your angles right, all those things. So we get into details of things, and that's what the details is what makes the project and the lighting happen.
Right,
So,
perfect.
so which is why you need us. That's the short of
Okay.
it.
Okay, no, I think that was beautifully answered. I think it makes a lot of sense, speaking about something. I mean, this is not technical, but it is a lot of knowledge that one gains from a discussion like that. Okay, so moving on from here, well, we've spoken about your profession, we've spoken about who Kiran Ganti is and what is she doing and what has she done. Let's take a close look at understanding who Kiran Ganti is as a person, as an individual. What kind of coffee she likes, what is her favorite color, what does she like doing? What's her favorite? I mean, you don't have to answer all the questions. Don't worry about that. But something about your likes, some hobby. Are you a travel? I mean, are you a travel buff? Or do you like driving? Do you like listening to music? What is your favorite pastime?
So, Aman, I'm a very simple person. I'm inspired by nature. You'll see it in our projects as well. When I do mention the little text next to photographs and stuff, nature inspires us. And when I'm outside, which is why I love traveling. And of course, I like the wildlife safaris, not so much urban cities and stuff like that, because I
Wow.
think it really de-stresses us. The solitude, the sanity that you get when you're out there. You're no longer pinned to the stresses of work and meetings and specifications and so on. So yes, that's something I like to do. Go
Okay.
on wildlife safaris. Yes.
So I think the last 4 months must have been very, very crucial for you because yeah, because if
Yeah.
you're someone who likes traveling and are you an adventurous person? Or let me just ask you in another way, a little deeper. Given a choice between let's say a suite room which faces the mountains or faces the beach, which one would you choose?
The mountains.
Okay, that makes you adventurous. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I just like nature, which is like
Okay,
trees and plants and stuff versus water and beaches and things like that. So
okay, that's
that's me.
amazing. Yeah, because generally speaking, somebody I mean, of course, mountain is nature, no doubt about it, but people, kind of opt for these kind of adventure trips and things like that because they're inclined towards understanding what is at what is the altitude of the mountain and things like that. Of course, there are a lot of
Yes.
things, as we get closer to understanding what mountaineering is all about, because that again in itself is a huge talent for a lot of people. So,
So light nature walks is what I prefer. I don't do like heavy duty hiking and stuff like that, but light nature
okay.
walks, yes.
Okay, super. All right. Do you want to share with us? Of course, I've gone through your list of projects. No doubt about it. Fantastic is the word. I am actually nobody superior to compliment, but yes, I would like to compliment and or rather, I definitely can compliment, but cannot certify because I'm not an expert. But seeing the projects a little bit, whatever I've studied about the projects that you've done, um, any specific project, Kiran, which has been extremely close to your heart, which has been your favorite project, or probably that has sent a benchmark in your career, if you would like to share with us.
I would say it has set a benchmark in my career, but I hold close one of my past projects, the Hanuman Temple that we did in Dolvi. It was done like 9 to 10 years ago,
Okay.
and even now it resonates with me very deeply. We do all these typical projects, commercial, residential, hospitality, but temple projects come along very rare. So that had a rarity charm to it. Then the other layer to it was the spiritual layer of things, and then it was a no fluff, no hype kind of a project. A very strong concept by the architect, and the architect was an Italian architect. He
Wow.
studied, and so it's a Hanuman temple. So he studied Lord Hanuman in great detail, and the design that he proposed was so perfect. It was a floating deck sitting on a shallow bed of water. There were four distinct columns, if I remember, that supported like a 30-meter by 30-meter flat roof, which had like a 3-meter or 3 or 4 meter cutout, and then the sanctum just sat in the middle of it, piercing through this cutout and showing the face of the deity. So the design was really impressive. And so we did a lot of, we wanted to deliver, me and my team is what, my team and me is what I'm
Sure.
thinking is we. So yes, we wanted to deliver something as good as his concept. So we tried a couple of things. And then what he had done was the underside of the roof could not even get any lights because of the ceiling, because it had the yantras and Hanuman artwork and all on it. So we couldn't really juxtaposition a downlight next to it. So that was challenging, and we somehow did it with color changing LEDs. I'm a proponent of soft lighting, and again, nature inspired us even then. So we set the programming from twilight. So we did it with twilight colors. So and the concept was like dawn to dusk. So the twilight blues, the daylight whites, the dusky amber hues. It just kept washing the face of the sanctum, and it was amazing. And it was
Wow.
done a while back, so even the fascination of programming and synchronizing all these LEDs and stuff was made that project a little special.
Okay. So
And
I think,
and
yeah.
another project is the Sheraton Keep that we have done, not very, recently, but not too recent. And it happened when we had that Ebola crisis going on. So working on the project, trying to get to the sites and all was really challenging, and so it demanded a lot of action and attention, and that's why the project became special for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that was while you were beautifully talking about the Hanuman Temple project. I really wish to see if you have certain images, of course, not now on the live session, but would definitely like to see that because the way you explained the twilight, I mean, it was amazing,
I
beautiful.
will
I think
post
this is what.
it.
Sorry, I
I'll
missed that.
post it on Instagram. There's a
Please
delay,
do.
Aman. Sorry, that's why I will think I'm interrupting you, but that's not my intent.
Don't worry about it. Relax. It's okay. So, yeah, like I was saying, the way you beautifully made that statement and you explained the journey, dawn to dusk. I think that is where lighting design plays a very, very important role. The
Yes.
way you explain the twilight blues and the daylight, I think that it's amazing. It's beautiful. The very fact that when I'm listening to it, and I'm sure even with our viewers listening to what you just said, I think that gives a sense of how passionate you are, and that's the reason that of course you're not just passionate about that one project, but the fact that you've worked and made that happen almost a decade ago. I think
Yes.
it's commendable. Of
Yes.
course, I have seen a few of your project images online, and of course, like I said, I'm nobody to certify, but definitely someone who can complement the kind of works that you've done. And that's the reason, when you just before you could join the session, I shared with our viewers that it's absolutely a pleasure, and very, very sweet of you to have taken time out and be a part of this session.
Thank you, Aman.
Um,
I'd like to know a little bit about Occhio, if you may, and your products.
so, perfect. So, okay, to begin with, Okkio is a German lighting brand headquartered in Munich. While I don't want to get into details about discussing who's the founder, designer, and things like that, let me tell you about what Okkio specializes in. So Okkio has got a very, very unique concept called the head and body system, right? Essentially, the head and body system works in a very, very simple manner. It's basically when we speak about the head. In fact, I have a luminaire here, so let me bring that down a bit. I think this is a little better for you and our viewers to see. So if you look at this, when I say the head and body system, this is the head that I'm referring to, right? And this is, of course, the body, the mounting option. So Okkio puts a lot of emphasis, on the head and body system in all the luminaires. We don't really have a very, very wide range of luminaires, but because these are technical architectural lightings, luminaires rather, there is a lot of focus put into a lot of emphasis put into the detailing. So, you spoke about CRI. I think Okkio is one of the few companies in the world, where luminaires give you a CRI up to 97. So the luminaire that you see in front of me over here comes with a CRI of 97.
That's
Of
good.
course, the color temperature available is either a 2700K or a 3000K. And this essentially comes in a 13 watt or 18 watt option. That being said, if you look at the luminaire behind me, it has the same head, right? So that's the kind of effect it creates. Of course, that luminaire is called the io verticale, which means it throws light on both the sides. So it's a beautiful. I can't really call it a wall washer because it doesn't cover the entire wall, but to a large extent, it does play a role of a wall washer. Little more about the lighting part, or maybe about Okkio. Okkio puts a lot of emphasis on the design, right? Which is the quality of design. Because if you look at this piece, it's very, very simple. There is nothing complicated about it. It's just spherical. It gives you this option of being able to rotate 360 degrees. And the best part, I'm not going to switch on the luminaire because I would rather like to show you that's the lens, right? So this is something which Okkio puts a lot of emphasis on. It's the lens. The founder designer Axel Meise started Okkio. In fact, the name Okkio, while the company is German, the name is Italian. It means eye. So for him, Okkio simply means your eye, and the way
Like
the
the
way the light
Oculus.
looks at us.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how he relates to this. Yes. So the design quality, like I was saying, it's simple yet classy. Obviously, it's the quality of light. Like I said, it provides a CRI of up to 97. I think the other range of luminaires that we have got a CRI of 95, but this has got 97. And of course, there's something called the joy of use. I'm not really sure if you're aware of how this works, but it's basically Okkio luminaires work on gesture control. So I'm not really sure if this is kind of plugged in at the moment, but can we just have this light switched on? Sorry for that. I just want to show you how the joy of use really works. And I mean, so yeah, this is one of the I mean, not important, but one of the most attractive feature that comes into play when you speak about Ocio luminaires. So just give me a few seconds while my team tries to connect this. Can I do it?
I mean, it's quite elegant and it's not excessively detailed and designed. It's just enough. And
I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear you. Could you please
no,
repeat
I
that,
said
please?
it's quite elegant and it's not excessively detailed and overly designed. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's
So
that.
that is where so that's the reason Okio has gained this this recognition of
Position.
being one of the most exactly and one of the most premium lighting brands in the world. Okay, so here we go. That's the gesture control. Very swift, very easy.
Right.
Works on an infrared sensor. Not getting into the details, of course, but yeah, and the very fact that okay, let me show you how do we control the intensity or the brightness. I just need to place my palm here, and we see that the light is getting brighter. Yeah, so the intensity increases, and again the next palm control and the intensity decreases. So this is what Okio specializes in. I think one of the only lighting brands in the world which provides you a gesture control, allows you to explore all the features of the luminaire. We do have a few luminaires, Kiran, where you can also change the color tune, right? The color
Oh,
temperature.
wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's I mean it's brilliant. I mean it's around in the store, and I'm not going to I don't want to do a virtual tour. I don't want to disconnect the iPad and show it. In fact, I would want to leave that for the day when you come to our store, where we can host you. Maybe we can sip coffee and give you a nice tour of what
Sure.
products we've got. So looking forward to that. So
Sure.
yeah, that luminaire has got an option of changing the color temperature from 2700 Kelvin to 4000 Kelvin and back. Again, everything works on gesture control, right? So that's the beauty of it. In fact, that is our signature collection. It's called the Mito series. Of course, all the names are Italian. I also took almost 2 months to kind of
Get
understand the
accustomed to
names.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I still remember when I traveled to Munich, one fine evening, the senior lighting designer over there grabbed 2 cup of espressos, and she said, "Okay, let's do some vivas." And I said, "What are you trying to do?" She said, "I want to know if you've really been able to learn the names of these luminaires." And I said, "Okay, I'd rather go back to the hotel and chill and probably leave this espresso because I'm not sure if I really know that." Yeah, because very different names, but of course now got a hang of it. We know what it is, and not just because I had this brand in India, but the fact that it really has a lot of real-time value when you look at the utility aspect. So, and yeah, I mean, I simply love doing this. It just, I mean, it's a different product altogether. So
Nice.
yes, and we as GM Modular decided to join hands with Okio and bring it to India because by the grace of the Almighty and with the kind of efforts that have been put by the GM management, I think GM has been able to reach heights in its own segment, and there is a lot of I mean, the brand equity is pretty much in place for us to be able to get an international lighting brand and represent here. So yeah, that's a bit about Okio. Maybe a little too less or a little too more, but yeah, that's about Okio. And like I said, the rest is going to be spoken to you, and we want to give you a tour of the store.
We'd love to. I'd
And
love to come.
I'm sure Kiran. See, now I'm getting used to it. I'm saying Kiran, you should compliment me for that. So a thumbs up. Okay. All right. So the head and body system, the very modular nature of the luminaire. Let me just try. So yeah. This is how this is how modular it is. All it takes is a little click, like just turn and click, and the lens is in my
Right.
hand.
Right.
If I want to add a color filter over here, we've got RGB, which is red, green, blue, yellow, and magenta. These are the color filters available for somebody who's probably looking at having decorative lighting in maybe their living room or a theme like that. Okay, now this is one unique thing. The minute you put the lens back, it kind of resets, and it takes a few seconds before you can again operate it on gesture control. This is actually a safety feature, so that when you're trying to either take
When
the
it's
lens off
opening.
or put it back, the light won't really flicker. It'll give you a few seconds, and now I can switch the luminaire off.
Great.
So a very, very different and an exciting product, obviously, which I mean, this has come from the masses as well, who walked into our store. And yes, it's the first store in India, flagship store. And we look forward to having a long, long journey. And of course, an association with someone like you who's been so dynamic, so passionate and committed. And I think a brand like this will definitely reach heights, provided we have your support and blessings. I'm
No,
not trying
we
to sell a light. Don't worry
definitely will
about that.
adopt it, and I do have questions for you, but I don't know if our viewers will be comfortable with that because they may be a little more technical. So we'll leave that for the next time you invite us to your
Definitely.
showroom.
Definitely. At the outset, you can accept my invite. Please make yourself available at the showroom at your convenience. In fact, with the revised government guidelines effective 1st of August, we've kept the store open across 6 days of the week. So whenever you feel like you just it's not a very, very long drive. It's just about 20 minutes that it'll take from your office to
Sure,
reach to our store.
sure.
So
Thank you.
whenever you have time, please feel free. Just give me a shout. I will personally give you a tour of the store, and then maybe we can sip coffee.
Perfect.
So do you want to tell us it's coffee and conversation? Let me ask you, which is your favorite coffee? Are you a coffee person?
No, I'm not a coffee person, unfortunately. I like
Okay.
tea.
You like tea?
Tea.
Okay. So then, which is your favorite tea? Any flavored tea, or are you
It,
just like a?
it, it has a weird name because every time I say it, my son just has a hearty laugh. But I'll share it anyways. It's called the First Flush, Silver Linings. First Flush.
Okay.
And I don't know, it's a thing with boys that, you guys are wired a certain way where Flush and WC and all these things kind of
Sure.
get you
Sure.
going.
Sure. Sure.
So,
Sure. Yeah.
but I
So
have to be honest.
yeah, I appreciate that. In fact, speaking about tea a little bit, I can't recall the name of the cafe which was in Bandra. Um, Maybe they were serving TWG or some other brand, some very, very fine tea brand which had, I think, every possible flavor you could ask for. So, I personally like lavender tea a lot. For that matter, even there's a flavor which is called the very berry, something like that. It's full of mixed berries and all that, and it's amazing. I mean, the taste of it when you see those petals and when you see those little small strawberry cubes, I think it's amazing. So maybe we'll we'll organize some good
Tea party.
varieties of. Absolutely, we can have a tea party. You nailed it. So looking forward to this tea
Sure.
party. Okay, moving on. Don't want to take a lot of time of yours. Well, as I spoke about Okio, a little about GM, being the parent company. Kiran, how different is normal lighting to luxury lighting? I mean, is there a way, Kiran, you'll be able to share with us what is, in your opinion, when we speak about normal lighting versus luxury lighting? Any specific definition, if you would have, or maybe
Yes.
how you would explain it?
Okay, let me put it this way. Today, we people who place a lot of value on health and well-being. Conventionally, well-being used to be lack of disease, but now it's no longer that. It's more like a holistic state of being, which is like feel good, look great, and I see so many of us constantly cataloging our lives, posting and boasting about it on social media. So to achieve that state, one and good lighting, superior lighting supports it. Um, the other day I was having this conversation where I heard that so many people who suffer from migraine attacks, they don't know that they're sensitive to light. And when they are in that pre-attack headache mode, uh, any exposure to lighting would trigger the migraine. And
Okay.
similarly, you know how we take our iPads and iPhones to our bedrooms and we operate them in darkness without any peripheral lights on.
Hmm.
And this causes insomnia and stuff like that. So,
Right.
to me, having able to or be able to control and have that feel good, holistic well-being kind of lighting. I mean, the lighting that supports that. To me, that's luxury lighting. And of course, it has to come with ease of use, comfort. And comfort automatically comes with it because then it doesn't have glare, and it is soft to the eye. And yeah, it has to have a visual appeal. But to me,
Sure.
that is superior and luxury lighting that enhances your well-being.
Right. So I think it was a very, very different definition of luxury lighting that you have. And I must say, I'm impressed to hear that because commonly, I don't know if it's just in our country or even abroad. Maybe you'll have a better comment on that. But luxury, to a large extent, at least in our country, is looked at as something which is expensive, something which
Opulence,
is
yes.
yeah, something which is branded. I mean, not just a brand, but a superior brand. Yeah, like they call it, where probably the brand is one of those top 10 brands, or maybe published in some high-end fashion magazine or something like that. When we started our operations in India, we had visitors. Just sharing it with you, taking about not more than 2 minutes. We had a few visitors at our store, the walk-in visitors, right? Everyone's welcome, of course. We cannot classify and filter the people, when they come, that will they be able to afford this kind of expensive luminaires or no, because you never know what's in store for you. So, there was this family who walked in. They kind of shortlisted about four luminaires, husband, wife, and two daughters. I still remember that way back in the month of, I think, November, December, because we did our soft launch on 12th of December. So I think just around that time. The family walked in about 20 minutes, they were done, and the gentleman walks up to me and he says, okay, just pack this. And I said, right, sir. I'm happy you've liked the luminaires. We don't have this, we don't have this pattern of pack kar do because it's a different brand altogether. I'd rather want to sip coffee with you, speak about the brand. Irrespective, you like the luminaires, amazing, no doubt about it. We'll be happy to serve you. But that being said, let's sip a cup of coffee. So when I sat down with him, to discuss about Okyo, um, I suddenly realized that a person. I don't want to classify what genre of the society he came from. I don't want to comment on that part. But for him, when he heard after the brand history about what Okyo is and what features, because he did not know anything. The only thing which they knew, because my team told them about the gesture control, they said, okay, this is good. But beyond that, what's next? They didn't know about the color tune. They didn't know about the CRI. Because a simple family, why would they want to get into technical details? And there came a point, when I told him, I said, sir, this is premium lighting. And he stopped me there. He said, Aman, can you explain to me what premium lighting is all about? Because if you're asking me to pay a premium for this, I'm sure there is a lot, which will justify why is it premium lighting. So obviously, I had my own set of answers to give him, my justification, which I'm not going to speak about right now because it'll take a little too long. But later than that, at the end of the conversation, he did cut down from four luminaires to one luminaire, but he was definitely somebody who liked the entire concept of being positioned as premium. And there was a feel good factor, when he said, okay, I want to buy this luminaire, no matter what the cost is, because my daughters like it. So I will stick to at least this one luminaire. It's a promise that I've made to them, that we'll buy luminaires. So I've done that. So he placed an order for one luminaire. And at the time of installation, when I personally went there, because I built a good rapport with him, I was so excited to see the man having the kind of passion he had towards that one single luminaire, right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
people commonly don't find that kind of happiness. Yeah,
Yeah. No, that's a
something
start in the right direction, right?
exactly. So, I mean,
Luxury
that was,
means
sorry, please go ahead.
luxury means it is different for everyone. Aman. I mean, uh, it is that perfect experience that maximizes all senses. So of course, it has to start with the visual appeal, because if it doesn't look good, you're not going to even go close to it. But once
Sure.
you've gone past that, then it's the comfort, it's the joy of use. You know that's your favorite set of words.
Absolutely.
And then rarity, timelessness. I mean, those are the things that all add to make that perfect experience. And
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the tagline for Okyo is a new culture of light. And I think we kind of do it almost on daily basis. We create a new culture of light because we can play around with these lights. In fact,
right,
being a lighting designer, when you walk into a store, you'd be happy to see the kind of experiments that you can really do over here, with different heads and bodies like I spoke of. So we look forward to that visit. And I think that's it for now. Very, very happy to have you here for coffee and conversation powered by Okyo Store by GM.
sure,
I must
glad
once
to
again
be.
compliment your smile, Kiran. You have a beautiful smile,
Thank
and
you.
look forward to your visit, like I said, and look forward to associating with you as well. And
Sure.
that's about it from my end. Thank you so much, Kiran.
Thanks
Very,
again to
very
you and
sweet
your
of you.
team, and thanks to the viewers. Bye.
Thank you, team. Kiran has a compliment for all of us. So thank you so much. Looking
Bye.
forward to seeing you soon. Have a nice
Sure.
evening.
You too. Bye
Take care.
bye.
Bye bye.